So guys, welcome to Tech and Marketing Training. Today is all about the agent websites in Command. So these are free or basically part of your tech fee. It's all part of Command. So every agent with Keller Williams has one of these sites. It's a matter of just setting it up and then personalizing it and utilizing it. And it's really meant to help increase your online presence. I think every agent should have a website. And there's a lot of different ways and really easy ways to maintain it and customize it in order to fit your business. So we just want to kind of walk through some of those things today and help you along with making sure that it's the way you guys want it. It's feeding in all of the correct information that you want to display online. And you can have a lot of fun with it too. But I always say, like, you know, don't get too bogged down by some of the intricacies of it. You can get really detailed with it, but you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to. We want you guys focusing on lead generation activities and connecting with your clients and taking care of transactions and all of that stuff. So don't spend hours and hours, especially if you don't have those hours to work on your website. But hopefully some of these tips and tricks will help you get it to where you want it to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and share my screen. Let me just get all this going. All right, everyone should see my command account here. If you don't, please let me know. And you guys feel free to unmute and ask questions as we go through things. Um, I always like when we get engagement with trainings instead of it just being me talking. So feel free to interrupt me at any point and ask questions. Okay, so to start out with agent sites, I always like to mention that you have to have your marketing profile completed before you set up your agent website. So to do that, you're going to click on your name in the upper right corner and choose Settings. From there, you'll click on Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. So this has to be completed. All of those required fields need to be completed with that little red asterisk there. So uploading a headshot, entering your name, your phone number, your email, a bio. And guys, don't get too worried about a bio if you don't have anything written out yet. Just put in a simple sentence just to satisfy that requirement. Market center information, so KW logo. I know it looks funky there. It will not look like that on your website or anywhere else. Don't worry about any legal compliance text there. We're all good. Social media profiles can be linked, and then just make sure to hit that save button at the very bottom. So again, you want to make sure that that is completed. I would also make sure to toggle this on, that use my information to brand my agent site. That just basically allows all of that information that you're entering in your marketing profile to feed to your agent website. All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Hopefully everyone's marketing profile is completed. So at this point, you're going to navigate over to the websites icon. So it's that very last icon on the left-hand side. So that is going to take you to this page here, and you've got two tabs at the top. You've got My Websites and Settings. So there's essentially two different versions to edit your website. There's a basic version and there's expert mode. And so this right here, when you click on Edit Agent Site, this is going to take you to the basic version of this. So I'm going to walk through that first. So it's going to bring you to this screen. So when you're editing, a lot of the editing takes place on the left-hand side while you have a preview of your website in the middle here. And I can even scroll down and I can preview my entire homepage of my website and what it currently looks like. I can also look at it from a tablet point of view or mobile. So your sites are fully responsive, so you don't have to worry about editing the tablet version and the mobile version. It takes care of that for you. You never have to worry about that. So to start out here, so under pages, and you kind of have three different sections here. But if you wanted to make some basic changes to your homepage, you would just click on this homepage section right here. and that's going to open up some more detail. So the banner, you'll see that you can change that headline or title that displays directly above your search bar. This is also where you can go in and add different images or a video. So I mentioned on team meeting earlier this week that you can now upload videos to your homepage. And like you can see on mine, this is just an example. And this was one that I found in Canva. So if anyone has Canva, and I believe it has to be Canva Pro in order to download any of these videos. But if you just simply search Milwaukee, or maybe it's even something a little bit more generic or simple, not location specific, you can download that as a video. So just to really quickly show you here, so I was working on one for Todd earlier, but I did a website banner. So when I'm creating something new, all I did was search by the dimensions of website banner, and this was the size that I'm basically editing and creating these in. And then in Elements in Canva, I just searched Milwaukee and then went through the videos. So kind of to show that again, search Milwaukee, find the video section, see all, and there's a ton of these in here. So some really good options to utilize for your website. So just wanted to simply show that really quick to show you how you can get that created, and then you're gonna download that as an MP4 video. So you're gonna download that to your computer, and then from there, you would upload it. So I can't upload another one. I've already got one uploaded, but you would just browse your files and upload it right in there. You can also choose images. So if you wanted to upload some different images, you can do that in here. I believe you can only upload up to 5. You don't need 5, even if you just want 1 or 2. You can upload 1 or 2 images, and then those would be scrolling in the background. All right. You'll also see very basic functionality here, just editing some of the headlines and descriptions. So as I scroll down, I've got a featured listings section. So if I wanted to change that headline and description, and then I can also change the center point. So right now, the way that I have those listings feeding in is the center point is Wauwatosa. And I can change that mile radius as well. So if I wanted to change that out to 20 miles, I can change that here. I can also edit price range if I wanted to, up that price range a little bit, maybe everything 500,000 and above. And that's how it's going to determine what listings are feeding in. Now, when I get into expert mode, you're going to have more options for what featured properties are feeding in here. Again, we're just in basic mode to edit some of this stuff. Testimonials, same thing, headline, description, and the blog posts as well, headline and description. You can edit those there. So as I scroll down, you'll see those sections. All right, so moving over to some of these buttons here, if I click on this plus, I'm just going to close without publishing. So this is just allowing you to add content, specifically a blog post. So if you wanted to write a new blog post, it allows you to do that from this screen. I'm going to get into that a little bit more in the expert mode, but just wanted to show that you can do that in here. The other thing though is the design studio. So this is again something that I mentioned on team meeting, but you can now choose between either the classic theme or a modern theme. And you'll see those differences kind of side by side right in here. You'll notice that the modern theme, the homepage images a little bit bigger, specifically the featured property section. Those photos are a little bit bigger. Really only 2 are going to display versus 3, and they're a little bit more compact. And you can preview each of these. So if I hit preview, it's going to pull up a screen and I can actually scroll down to see everything and how that's going to look on my homepage. So the classic theme is pretty much what your site looks like currently. Now the modern theme Again, you get a little bit better view here. You can kind of see what those properties look like, the blog posts, and things like that. So the layout's just slightly different. So if you wanted to change that, you would just click on Select Theme. So I currently have the modern theme, but if I wanted to make any edits to that, I would click on Edit Theme. And this is where you can change up the color scheme. You can edit and change the font type. And then you can also change how those buttons and some of the content is going to look. So I've got a few different font options, color schemes, and then the corners of those buttons. So I'm going to pull up my live site here. And you can see I did more of like the beige color scheme, which would be this one here. And then I have the buttons, more of the pill type of look. And you'll also notice like these images, like it's got the rounded corners. So just very slight differences with the design. My testimonials are a little bit larger. So I think the classic view, they're a little bit more compact. I think maybe at least 3 or 4 are going to show first and foremost without having to scroll. The photos here, again, it's got that rounded look and all of those other ones below that. My form buttons here, all of that. So you are able to play around with this. Feel free to select any one of these. It might just take a couple minutes for your live site to refresh for you to see exactly how that's going to look. So, maybe change that up a little bit, save changes, and then publish. So make sure that if you do make changes to this, you're hitting that publish button at the top here.
Lindsay, what if we don't have a publish button?
So are you under the design studio or are you under pages or add content?
I am at the first part where it says pages, home
Okay.
pages, and when I try to
Yeah.
go back to pages, it asks me to save, but I don't know where to
Okay.
save.
So I was running into that issue this morning too. So what I would suggest, and I have to figure that out because I just came across that like an hour ago. Make those changes in the expert mode for right now.
Okay.
And we'll walk through that next. Yeah, I was actually trying to upload a video and it uploaded, but it didn't let me publish it for whatever reason. So I have to figure that out. Okay. But yeah, so it's interesting. The design studio, you have a publish button, but yet under pages, that publish button isn't there. So not sure what's going on. So if you are trying to edit images or upload a video here, I'm going to walk you guys through where to do that in the expert mode. All right, so from here, you can click on expert mode. That is going to open up a separate tab and it'll take you to this screen here. If you're starting out from the beginning to go into expert mode, just going to exit out here, you would click into settings and this edit my website button, that will also take you to expert mode. Just want to touch on a couple things in here under the settings. If you ever need to change your subdomain, you can do so right in here. Just make sure to hit save changes. Because I have a team account, I've got, well, everyone should have their app URL. So everyone has a unique app URL for their consumer search app. And this is where you can find it. So if you ever are looking to create a QR code with that link, this is where you can find it under websites, settings, and then scroll down to app URL settings, and you can copy that code. You can't edit it, you'll notice. Every agent has their own unique app URL. There's also some preferences in here. So on the listing pages on your website, you can choose to enable or disable the Keller Home Loans and Keller Covered options that are on those pages. Just an option. I don't think it hurts to have them on there, but again, it's an option. If you want to disable it, you just choose that right there. You can also choose to disable neighborhoods on your agent site. So again, as you're searching for properties and you're looking at that map, you'll notice that there's the neighborhood boundaries displaying. So if you don't want those neighborhoods to pull through, you can disable that. And then you also have forced site registration. So this was included on the old sites as well. So right now it's always going to be defaulted to unrestricted, meaning if someone goes on your website and searches for properties, they can search for unlimited properties. Whereas if you edited this and maybe you changed it to 10 or 2 or no property viewing, let's just say I have it set to 2 properties. If I'm a consumer and I go on your website and I'm looking at a property, I click to a second property and then I click to a third property to view, I'm going to be prompted to sign up with an account on your website. So it's a little bit more, again, it's that forced site registration. After 2 properties, I'm going to be forced to register on your site so that I'm providing information that's going to get sent to you as the agent, and you get that lead through your website. So this is something maybe to consider if you're doing a lot of social media ad campaigns and you're routing people back to your website, or doing anything like that, just to ensure that you're capturing a little bit more of the activity on your site. All right, so I'm going to go back up to expert mode and I already have it up here. All right, so I'm in expert mode. And so this is where you can do a lot of different things on your site. So I just want to kind of run through the way that this page is laid out here. So I always have a live link right here. Again, I always recommend as you're editing your site, have your live site open as well. And you can do so by clicking on that link there, and it's going to open up a new tab. So there's my live site. I've got it open twice, so I'm just going to exit out of that one. You have some quick start options. So if you're going into your site and you want to create a new blog post or set up a new custom page, simply click on those options. A landing page is going to be something completely separate from your website. It's a standalone web page. Then you also have some templates in here. So KW kind of put together some pages as templates so that you don't have to create a custom page for every one of these. They're more of the popular, like, hey, you should kind of think about having some of these on your site. So 2 of them that I would recommend having on your site right away is the mortgage calculator and the home valuation. And all you're going to do for those is you're going to click on it and you can make edits. So if you wanted to change the page title, you can do so right here. You can add a description if you would like. But otherwise, you're not really going to mess with this. My preview should load the full mortgage calculator here. I don't know why it's not. But then what you're going to do is just click on publish. And that is going to get added to your website. So just because I know it's already on mine, I'm going to go to my live site here and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. So it's added as an additional page, mortgage calculator. And there we go. So it's a fully built out page that a consumer can go on and they can enter in all of these details. The other one, and once it's published, if you're clicking back, usually if you publish, it'll have a button saying like return to dashboard. Otherwise, if you click on that KW logo at the top here, it'll also take you back to the dashboard. So the other one is the home valuation page. So this is another really good page to have included on your site. So same thing, you can change up the page title, add a description. The other thing that you can do is I like to add maybe a more personalized header. And if I wanted to do that, I could do page heading and I could upload an image. So you'll kind of see in that preview there what it's going to look like with that header title. And then I can upload an image from my computer if I wanted that to be the background image. So just going to my live site, because I have it on there already. And it looks like I changed it. I changed the page name to find out what your home is worth instead of just home valuation. And that's what that's going to look like then. So I've got that image in there, changed the header, but then this is that pre-built form. So this was really nice because you can go in here and the consumer can enter in a home address. And let me just go in here and do an example. So then I would enter this information in. And then I am going to get an evaluation right away as the consumer. But yet I'm also going to get that lead right away. So you have the opportunity to give that consumer or that client a call and discuss those numbers in a little bit more detail, and obviously provide more comps and get some more information from them and what they're looking for. All right, so that's how that home valuation form works. So again, those are just a couple of different pages that you can add. And again, I'm going to click back on that logo. Yep, I'm not going to save it because I've already got that page built out. So I'm going to go through a couple other things here. So then scrolling down, you'll also see a list view of all of the pages that are on your site. This will also include any pages that you've saved as a draft. So maybe some different custom pages that you were working on. So you'll see default pages, custom pages, landing pages if you have any of those, and you'll see whether they're archived, published, a draft, and you'll also see the created date and when they were last updated as well. Now, one of the first things that you want to do on your website is you want to make sure that your homepage is set up and looks how you want it to look. So that homepage, you'll notice it's actually under custom pages. So right here, it should be called custom homepage, default homepage. So I'm going to click on that. And this is also where you can edit those images and upload that video. All right. So then here we go. So I'm just going to collapse these. So under contents, you'll see that I've got a few different sections here. So I'll just kind of run through these and take a look at everything. So the first thing is the listing search module. And this is where you can upload those videos, those photos. So Andrew, this is where you would upload that video or photo that you were trying to, and this will actually have a publish button over here. So what you would do is if you wanted to change it from custom images or custom video, you have that drop down right there. And then if you wanted a different video, like let's say I wanted to edit this. So I've got that video in there. Any photos or videos or really any pieces of information that you're uploading into your site, you're always able to add the internal name and title and description. So adding that information in there and those details is really going to help with your organic SEO on for your website. So search engines can pick things up a little bit better. So I do recommend adding in that internal name and title and description for any content that you're uploading in here. So even if it was like a video, like MKE video for web, like let's just say I'm going to put in my name and Keller Williams, something like that. Because I'm thinking through like those keywords that people would search for online. So that's just an example. And I would publish that if I do make any changes and click back. But maybe I wanted to upload a new video. I can remove that. And let's do, or maybe I wanted to add images instead. So I can upload files from my computer. I can also add image. So if I've added anything so far to my site, you basically have this library built in. So anything you've uploaded in here will kind of just save in your library. So maybe I added some stock images in here already, and I'm going to pull those in from there. So you'll see some other like stock images that I had previously. So there's that image, and you'll see my preview is going to update. And then I can add another image, click that search little magnifying glass. Maybe I'm pulling this one in. All right, so maybe I want to upload a file just from my computer. Maybe I have a new listing and it's got great photos and I want to utilize some of those for my website. I can just choose files and then I can upload some different images in there. All right, but maybe, I just want to do that video. So I'm going to choose video again. And let's see, I should be able to upload. Maybe it won't let me if I already uploaded one. Let's see here. All right, maybe not. I'll edit. All right, I'll add video file. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to add video file, new upload, choose, and then I'm going to find that video that I've downloaded either from Canva or maybe you have a really nice drone video of a listing. You can upload that as well. So there it is. And I'm going to publish that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to click back. I want to make sure that I have that one selected. Maybe move that one up. Okay. All right. Any questions so far on really anything? Adding photos, videos, things like that? Okay. All right. I want to make sure we get 2 featured listings. So I'm just going to click on that drop down. And again, you can edit the titles and descriptions similarly to what you could do in the basic mode. But then this is also going to give me some more criteria that I can set for what exact properties are going to feed in. So then I can pin listings. So if I want specific listings to show up under this section, I can simply click on the plus button and I can search by address or MLS number. So you can do that. You can also feature listings by my listings or my brokerage listings. So if you toggle the My Listings on, you have to make sure that you have the MLS connected in your Listings tab in Command. And to be honest, I haven't seen that working 100% accurately. Um, I would, if you don't have listings, still toggle that on. And if you want just the Market Center listings to show up, toggle both of those on. And then you just have Keller Williams listings feeding into your site. The other thing that you can do is you can get more specific with listing status. Sometimes I'll see like sold listings feeding in here. And usually with sold listings, it doesn't have property photos. It'll just say sold with some kind of basic details. So I would make sure to choose active. And then if you want just houses or single family and condos, you can select what property types you want feeding in there. And you can get even more specific with bedroom, bathroom count, and also price. So if I wanted anything over 500,000, that's the minimum price. You could do something like that. And you'll see as you're making changes, the preview should update as well. I don't know why it's not pulling. Like that $269,000 one shouldn't be in there. But maybe it just takes a second. All right. So definitely go through and look at those featured listings and make sure that is set up how you want it. Testimonial lists. So this is also where you can go in and you can add testimonials. So you'll simply click on this plus button. And if you wanted to copy and paste testimonials from, let's say, your Google business page or Zillow, Realtor.com, Facebook, anywhere, the nice thing about your site is that you can manually add testimonials. So you'd click on the plus button, click on create new, and you're going to fill out some of this information. So the things that are required is the star rating, which of course you're going to give yourself 5 stars. You'll copy and paste the testimonial in here. You can add the client's first name and last initial. And then it does need that client since date. So even if you aren't for sure, like, okay, when did they become a client? Just estimate. Like, it doesn't have to be specific. You don't need this city, state, zip, country. All of these other things are not required. And then when you're done, just hit publish. So then once that testimonial is published, when you click on add, you'll see that new one added in here at the top. So that's how you can add testimonials. Your websites will all have a submission, like testimonial submission form. So if you do get any testimonials submitted through your site, just know that they're not going to get added automatically. Just in case, you get one that isn't the greatest and you don't want to display it, you do have that ability to make sure that only the best ones are displayed on your website. So you would go in here and you would look to find what's in there. And then you can choose which ones are showing up, which ones you want to remove, and all of that. Then you also have a blog post. So you can feature blog posts on your homepage. And you'll notice that you've got 4 blog posts already created and added to your site. So this is also where you can go in and you can change which ones are showing on your homepage. I added a few different custom ones in here. So those are displaying. If I click on that, it'll kind of give me all of the content and different ones that I've created. So if I wanted to highlight different blog posts, I can do that. From here too, you'll also notice I can create a new blog post. But that's where you can choose to display which ones you want. And again, just make sure if you do make changes, hit this publish button in the upper right corner here. All right. Now I just want to get into some more like creating some different custom pages. So I'm going to click back to the dashboard here. And I am going to create a new custom page. So I'm going to click on under that quick start option, custom page. And I'm really just starting from scratch here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add a page title. So maybe I want to create a little bit more of a robust, like market evaluation form. And I'll title it, what's going on in Milwaukee. You can get really creative, really specific with some of this. I can add a description if I want to, add a page header. So this is where if I wanted to add an image behind that header, I can either add item or I can upload files. So I know I've got some stock images already in here. So I'm going to search for one. And I'm going to pull in one of these images here. Let's do that one. Okay, so there's that image. And there we go. There's my preview. But then here under page contents, you're going to click on Add Module because this is going to pull up all of the different module, like content modules that you can choose from. And you'll see a ton of different layouts. So you can kind of just scroll through and get a preview of what some of those are going to look like. But let's just say, okay, I'm gonna grab one of these. You'll also see you can highlight featured listings in any of these custom pages. Same thing with testimonials. So you'll see those testimonial lists included in there. You can upload video. There's additional modules as well. But I'm gonna grab one of these layouts. And I'm gonna grab, let's see, which one do I want? I'm gonna do, sorry, I'm looking for a specific one that I, of course, now I can't find it. All right. Let's do this one. All right, so if I wanted to display some images, some text, it's kind of a matter of playing around with some of this. Let me move my zoom toolbar. All right, so if I wanted to add just some of my other kind of content that I've created, I kind of have my library in here. So let's see here. Maybe I want to highlight one of my blog posts. Let's see what that looks like. So you can kind of see as that what that displays. And maybe, okay, maybe this one isn't the best for something like this because my title is so long for that blog post. But if you wanted to highlight different content on a specific page, this is where, like, how you can do it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. So let's see, I'm going to remove that. Let's do, I'm going to remove that module. Okay, so instead, all right, so in the meantime, I'm just going to go through, oh, maybe it was this one. Okay, I think it was this one. Okay, so you could do something like, okay, maybe highlighting a few images. So I'm going to add 3 different images in here. You'll kind of see how those display. So here's my preview. And then if I wanted to do something like, curious what your home is worth, find out more detailed information about what's going on in your neighborhood. So you'll see kind of how that's laid out here with those images and with that header and the content here. So it's a kind of a different way of building out that home valuation. So if you wanted to provide a little bit more context, and then what you could do below this module here is an add module and then scroll down to additional modules and find that home value search component. And then you've got that displayed right there. Again, there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize some of those content modules and those layouts and pull in different content as well. The other thing that I like to go through for an example is if you ever wanted to embed like a Google form or any sort of HTML. It would just be a matter of adding that module and then adding HTML embed. So if I had anything already in here, I could simply go in and add it. So one thing that you can do as well is, like, let's say that you wanted to embed your listing or buyer guides, because they're created in Canva, or the ones that we do through our marketing concierge are created in Canva. You can actually grab that embed code or that HTML code, and you can embed that in here. So here's one that I created at one point, and that should update. Yep, here we go. So it would look like something like this, but it would be interactive. So the consumer can go through and start clicking in that. But if I needed to create new, I can name it, just pretend, or maybe I wanted it to be the Google form. Maybe you're doing a client event, you're creating a Google form for an RSVP and you want to add that to your website. So I've got a Google form up here. So this is just an example of a Google form. Anytime you want to grab that code, what you would do is you would click on that send button. And then when you click on send, you have these options. And one of them is embed HTML. So you'd copy that code, go back to your site, and paste that in here. And there you go. You may want to play around with centering that, or adjusting the width and the height. But otherwise, you would just do it through that HTML code right there and then hit publish. And then you could add that to its own separate custom page or include that within an existing custom page as a different module. So a few different options there. All right, I'm going to click back, but then you'll notice there it is now. So if I'm adding an HTML embed, I'm going to be able to choose from any existing HTML modules that I've created so far. So if I wanted that Google form, I could switch it to that, and there it is. And that's all on one custom page. Now, I wouldn't recommend having a custom page be so detailed and have that much information. But you can certainly kind of format it in a way that looks really clean and makes sense for the content that you have included on there. Okay, so since I know we only have 15 minutes left, I wanted to flip it over to Madeline, and she was going to share even more kind of tips and tricks here. So Madeline, are you on and ready?
Yes, I'm on and ready. Please bear with me with the sharing of the screen. I I think I know how to do it.
No worries.
Um, sorry, I need to grant some settings here. Uh-oh. Um, did that work?
We see your screen.
Okay, so I have had some time to customize my own website as well. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot of fun little tiny features that you can kind of click through and go through, but I was just gonna show you um really quickly my custom about me page since we were just talking about custom pages. I personally didn't like whatever the basic about your agent page was, so I kind of scrapped it and started over. Like Lindsay was saying, I uploaded a big picture in the front and I got rid of the title. Like she had, I think, What's Going On in Milwaukee as the title, and you can toggle back and forth if you want your title gone. And I just added some pictures and my preferred vendors on the bottom. So I made it super easy and simple instead of whatever the old agent website was with about me page with I think it was a little card and it had like all of your information in a tiny little card in the middle of the screen. So an idea that you can use if you wanted to. Let's see here. So, and then I'll just show you really quickly what that looks like in my expert mode. So it would be under my About Me page. And then under my page header, I like hid the title. That's where the little toggle thing is. So I don't have, instead of the About Me being over the picture, I just hid the title. So that way, just a different way to customize it. And then, yeah, I think I can just, oh, never mind. I'll just save that. And then go back to, so when you've created a bunch of custom pages, or let's say you really want your home valuation and your mortgage calculator on your home, on like the tabs, instead of having to go to more and finding all of these things, you have the ability to do that. It's a little clunky, but it's going to be over here on this little sandwich bar. And then you're going to go down to Organization Site. Here is going to have kind of all of the details about your site. So I have the darker color theme. This is the site font that I want. You can also change like all of the things that you saw on that first page. This is just the more detailed portion of it. So all of that information is laid out here. You can also feel free to go through and change it and save it. And then when you get to the bottom, your navigation source. So normally it'll be your inherited navigation. It'll be like why Keller Williams, download the app, about me. This is what you normally see when you log on to any of the agent websites. If you were to click this, you can click on custom organization sites and you can create your own custom navigation. So just for the fun of it, we can create a new one. And in here, we can name it, I'll just test 2. I think I named mine like custom Madeline or something easy for you to remember. And then this is where you get to choose the little tabs on the top of your page. So you'll go down here and you'll name it, I think we can do like about me. And then in here, this is where you would pick the page that you will be adding to that tab. So I picked about me. So I can click my About Me pages, but this is where all of your custom sites are. Let's say you wanted it to be a specific blog post that was pinned up there, or any of your other custom pages. It really doesn't matter as long as your tab makes sense to what you're connecting, like what page you're connecting to. So I'll just put in About Me. And as you can see, it'll automatically populate in here. And unfortunately, you can't see the preview. I wish you could, but it pops up here and you always can change this title of, that's just going to be what the page tab is. So it doesn't necessarily have to match your website tab, but in this case, it makes sense. And then I can add another one. Let's do calculator, and then come in here and add the mortgage calculator. And let's say I only wanted 2, I can save that. So as I only have 2 things in my navigation, so then you have to go back and here, and then you can click, I think I named it test, or I think I actually named it test 2, I think. And this is where you choose which navigation. So I have 3 different navigations that I've created. So making sure that you're clicking the one that you want, and it'll show up what you've created. And for some reason, like, oh, I don't like that anymore, you can always go back to your default navigation and it should load it again. but that's kind of how you can make sure that your custom pages, it's not loading, but that's how you can make sure that your custom pages get put in there and that you can change what you want.
Yeah,
See.
it's a great way to really highlight some of those other custom pages that you're creating, because I know the default is really any other custom pages that you create are going to be under that More tab. So if you want better visibility into your home valuation page, or maybe you're doing, an upcoming event and you want that RSVP to be up there on that custom page. So it's a great way to edit that and have that highlighted a little bit more. As you can see on Madeline, she's got home valuation, mortgage calculator, um, directly on the navigation menu versus having to click on that More tab.
Right. And I wouldn't suggest having more than 5 or 6 tabs up here because it can become a little bit overwhelming and hard to navigate because then they start getting smaller and squished. So I would suggest, or if you're going to have more than that, make sure that they're shorter titles, like, I don't know. Because mortgage calculator is a long title versus about me takes up a lot less space.
Yeah, maybe it's CMA. It's you
Mhm.
gotta have to think through, like, in the consumer's eyes, like what's the most important, what makes sense to the consumer. I mean, they might not even know what a CMA is. But the other thing too that I would suggest is, make sure that you don't go crazy on custom pages. Make sure that they're providing value to your consumers. You don't want to click on the More tab and have like this huge long list of pages,
Mhm.
because think about what consumers want. They want that property search. That's the most important, and they want to be able to connect with you. So that's already fully built out. You're just adding additional information and resources and value to your consumers. So just keep that in mind as you're working through this. So I just always like to say, like, don't spend hours and hours like building out your website. Your time is more valuable lead generating, and working with your clients on transactions and that sort of thing. So if you guys are working through any of these things and you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Madeline. I don't know if you noticed, but Madeline went to school for websites. So she's so super knowledgeable about a lot of this stuff and a lot of the back end systems. So as you can tell on her site, she's really customized a lot of different things to make it really stand out. So we're happy to help you guys with your sites, and anything that we talked about, or anything additional, because there is a lot more to it as well. So anyone have any final? Yeah, go ahead, Madeline. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, and even if you were looking for images or videos like I have in mine, I have them already pre-created in Canva. They're the correct width and length. So you can always email the marketing concierge and say like, hey, is there any way I can have just stock images for my website or a video for my website? I will gladly send all this over to you.
Yeah, good reminder. Thanks, Madeline. Yeah, we're happy to share any content, any resources that we can with you guys. Any final questions? Otherwise, that's all we have for today. All right. Well, thank you,
Thank
everyone.